Welcome back to action from Africa Racing now. From the two-wheelers and quads, we make our way into the battlegrounds with the four-wheelers. All the cars and special vehicles making their way and getting ready to go now for action here at the Lichtenburg 200. Proudly brought to you, of course, by our associate sponsors, and great to have them here, and the support being shown on the sideline, not only for our sponsors and, of course, the local community, but, of course, also for our charitable aspect that comes in. And all of the charity and the money raised today going towards the NGK. Great effort there from everybody involved. Final preparation being done on these cars. Lady drivers and navigators as well as guys out there, which is good to see. Women in motorsport, a massive push all around the world. Final adjustments being done to some of the cars as well, but let's catch up with some of the drivers.
Hi, good day. My name is John de Beer.
I'm Michael de Beer.
Driving Maverick X3 G22. Today would be our second race in the African off-road races. Previous one was at Darbiesfontein. So we're a bit anxious, but looking forward to it.
Afternoon, my name is Ayaz Dada, and this is my co-driver Mohammed Dada. We're from Botswana. Looking forward to doing our first race here in Lichtenburg. I'd like to thank all the organizers who made this event successful, and looking forward to it.
Hi, we're from Vredefort, Parys area, and we're from Team Prinsloo, and we're driving a Ford Ranger, and it's a T16, and my navigator are my daughter, Nicole Prinsloo.
Time to bring the cars and special vehicles to the line. Gil Nel and Ben Janssen will be the first guys out on track in their special vehicle, running in Class P. Behind them is Class G, first of the categories there from the production class. We've just spoken to Jean and Michael. They're looking forward to going to battle out here, and nice to see them on board, courtesy of their GoPro, showing you the kind of conditions they're going to have to deal with here. First part is right through the veld, and it's literally a Jeep track that's been cut through the veld. I'm going to make it a little bit easier for the car guys to see where to go, because there's been some bikes and quads through there already. Frank de Kreef coming through there. That's Francois' dad with Dion Muns. And nice to see the two of them in a four-wheel vehicle. Frank used to be a lot more on a two-wheel kind of guy. Whew, no holding back there for Nico. He goes through there flat out. Johnny and Ethan John Walker in the Bushwalker. And then Johan Lloyd and Arnold Theron also pushing hard in P22, running in the special vehicles there for Class P. Class F1 in the production class. Willie and Cornelius. Peter and Natasha Reinicke in the side-by-side. It's a little top-heavy, that one, but of course it's all balanced nicely. Works well. One of our lady competitors out there as well in that one. Now we've got Johan Stein and Ronald Smith. P67, Fox-sponsored machine there. B31, also part and parcel of the special class. It's Tian Prinsloo and Dylan de Kock. Waldo and Peter Prince now. Through that first little whoop. There's a special little vehicle, certainly not a stock standard one. F4 in full flight. Rickus Prinsloo and Neolene Andre Vermeulen and Johan Ferry. C69, another special vehicle there in special class C. Single driver here in B99, John Boxhorn. Gideon Jacobs and Greg Hose making their way out now in G2 and looking good in that G category. Followed very closely there. Marty's had a tough day. Marty and Amanda now, two lady drivers, stepping off the quad and now straight into a side-by-side. A lot of work there. Ayaz and Mohammed Dada, looking good in the Can-Am as they make their way out into the battlefield. Bruno de Villiers and Francois Kruger just taking it easy through that little loop section. Don't want to break the car right at the start. Mid-City Motors, their sponsor, looking good so far. Mark Dubel and Argon Maria hitting that. Oh, didn't even smell that little whoop there. Hatzog and Nicole Prinsloo now in the Ford. Oh, sounds good, that little Ford Ranger in full flight. And looking for a chance now for a win in Class T, and the only category, in fact, that's run there. Nicole Prinsloo and Hatzog Prinsloo now looking after Class T on their own. Gideon Nell and Rudy Hapst in the Nissan. Another Ford Ranger making its way is Tiens van Rensburg and Anton Venter. Here's a different vehicle. Wow, completely different. Who would expect to see a Renault? But there you go, Gustav Aspelang and Dries van der Berg taking their Renault out onto the track and making a little off-road vehicle out of that. Not too shabby. Let's get into the good stuff now. Tian and Dylan being caught. You can see in the background there. Looks like the side-by-side getting a slightly better run through the river crossing. And Dada is right there with him, trying to find a way past. Not easy to pass in the car section because there's not a lot of road to play with. You have to try and find a section where you can just get a bit of a gap and find a way through. The same thing applies when it comes to the markers, as you can see on the sideline there, just warning the drivers that there is a section coming up that could potentially be at hazard. Or look out for rocks, look out for a jump, look out for a ditch. And look out for cars coming rear view as well. They don't run rear view mirrors, I don't think, on any of these vehicles except for maybe the Class T guys. But you'll hear the engines, that's for sure. They are very closely and evenly matched here as they come through the river crossing for the first time. So we've got some big battles in amongst the production class and the special class. You can see on those special cars, another way that you get to see how the suspension works so well, especially when you get up close and personal like this, as Johnny and Ethan John make their way through there in the Bushwalker. Watching the suspension work, independent suspension on every single wheel. I know when I chatted once to Alfie Cox when he was involved with the Dakar, he was saying to me that it works on a similar kind of vein to what you do on a motorcycle. If you get some airtime in these vehicles, you can just tap the brake and it brings it down, the nose down, or if you want to get a little bit more, you just accelerate and try and get a bit more airtime. So got to just play around with that. It's not quite the 4x4s that have got independent rear suspension and independent rear steering as well. These guys have only got front wheel steering, but you can see Frank de Krief and Dion doing a great job to stand there. There you can see once again an example of how well those side-by-sides work. Now another special vehicle, smiley face on the front for Andre Vermeulen and Johan Fourie. River crossing done with ease. Maintaining good pace along the riverbank. Waldo and Peter now. It's a nice little run through there from them. I'm not going to get as muddy as what the quads do and what the two-wheelers do, but there's still going to be some dirt out there to negotiate. A bit of traffic to negotiate as well here for Tiens van Rensburg. Put one of the side-by-sides, but shouldn't be too much of an issue there for the bigger truck to find a way past. If you're on your own, you've got to navigate and do the driving, and that's exactly what John Boxhoorn is doing here. And he's looking for a chance for a win in Class Bs if he can. Just got to keep it out of harm's way. And that's not easy to do when it starts to slip and slide. The Dadas are going at it though, that's for sure. They're not holding anything back here. It's a good run from them. And possibility of a top 5 here from them. Oh, lots of splash on that one. Probably the biggest splash we've had all day. Maybe other than that one that was right behind. And that of course is Mark Duval, who's now moving up into a possible win for Class G. So Mark and Argon doing a super job there for a possibility of the win in the Class G categories in the production class. Tiens van Rensburg, Anton Venter still maintaining a good pace around here, trying to close down on the back end of some of the other more stock standard vehicles like this one that Fideon Nel and Rudy Habs are driving. When I say stock standard, they look a little bit more standard than most of those special vehicles do. Nel and Habs are doing a good job there in the Nissan. Coming back into the pit lane area now for a quick refuel. Tinus Jacobs and Amor van Tonda. Yummy. And then like a bit of mud. That's the way to do it. And that mud continues all the way along the riverbank. Tinus and Amor just maintaining some good pace around here. That's always good to see too. And a very good possibility of finishing up in the top 2. I think they've moved into second place. We'll see you after the break here for some more action from the Lichtenburg 200.
This week on Garage Gold.
We head to Angela's Picnic to see which killer classics stole the show.
I'm in Centurion, chatting to the ultimate American muscle aficionado.
I was fortunate to meet Jay Leno at Pebble Beach 2010. I'm not sure he still remembers me, but I remember him very well.
And we have 2 BMWs going head-to-head in our concourse competition. That's Garage Gold, only on Ignition TV, channel 189.
What's up everybody? Here's my 3 golden rules for staying sane during lockdown. Lockdown rule number 1. Get enough exercise. Lockdown rule number 2. Making sure I get some work done. Lockdown rule number 3. And making sure there's a fresh supply of coffee. Bottoms up.
Welcome back to the final bit of action now from Africa Racing, and as you can see, the action has been thick and fast as Rikus Prinsloo and Neolene Brits have rolled that F4 vehicle of theirs. So a lot of support from the sideline and some helpers on the side to get their car back onto its wheels. They might be able to get going again, and I'm not quite sure if they're going to be able to finish up because they've probably lost a lot of time having been stuck on the side of that car for a while. No time being lost here by Boxhoorn, and look at this is awesome to see. I did mention the fact that we would be getting onto the original Lichtenburg racetrack as well as part of one of the special stages, and you can see it was great to have a bit of tarmac and dirt to play in. Bernard de Villiers and Francois Kruger now coming through. Sure, this is a tough one. Those big buckabickies on the side there won't affect the cars, but it certainly would have been a big factor for the bikes and quads earlier on. Don't want to go into one of those and put a thorn into your side. That will definitely hurt and spoil your day. De Villiers still maintaining good pace, so is Johan Steyn and Ronald Smith. And Smith now looking for a chance as he makes his way up there with Johan Steyn for a possibility of second place in Class P. Looks very weird on the tarmac when you see these cars completely covered in mud and then back onto the dirty stuff. G22 once again, another good run here from Jean de Beer and Michael de Beer. The brothers are having a great day in the saddle. And I think they're in for a chance of a top 3 as well. So not a bad effort here from them to keep it all together. Might just be losing out. They're coming onto one of the back markers here and looking for a way past. You can see just how difficult it is to try and find a way past. You can't just go off-road anywhere because it will cost you. You've got to wait for an opportunity, and this is probably where he's going to have a go. Pulls onto the sideline, sees a gap and gets through, or does he? No, he doesn't. So stuck behind this vehicle for a couple more meters, and then, oh, that was nice. The slower car, realizing there was a quicker car behind. I don't think there's any blue flags out there that would warn them of a slower vehicle, but the quicker car found a way through. And now the De Beers can go at it alongside the railway. So nice little section to have there as they come back out of the railway section. They come onto Lichtenburg racetrack, trailing bits and pieces of the scenery with them. Peter and Natasha Reinecker. We've seen how well they've gone. They've had a great day so far. Can they keep it all together now for the last couple of laps of action here and potentially finish up as high as they can? It's nice to see the two of them looking for a chance of second place at this stage in Class G. Leading out Class G though are the team of Duval and Marie, and they've actually got a comfortable margin, so it's just plain sailing for them to get to the end. They've got to just keep it all upright and hopefully have no mechanicals, and it should be another victory in the bag there for Mark and Argon. It's only with a couple of meters to go now. Billy Wellman and Cornelius Niemand. A more stock standard version of a racing truck. And those racetracks must have been awesome to get around on that tarmac. With the big fat tires that start to squeal. You can see the off camber as well, trying to make up some ground there. Titus van Rensburg and Anton Fenter now getting it sideways. They saw the cameraman. I think that was all part and parcel of the deal. Let's put it a bit sideways and get on TV. If you can't win, just be spectacular. It'll certainly get you onto television. Especially with this production team. They look for that kind of stuff. Gustav and Dries, I think, might have battled a little bit there and maybe taken a little bit more than what they expected. But needless to say, it looks like they're still going to look for a chance to finish up. They're the only Category E car out there, and they've still got a lap to go. So they've got to finish 4 laps to be classified, so they might just be time barred. But it is an awesome vehicle that they put together here, and something completely different, that's for sure. No one expected to see a Renault out there, particularly me, but it's out there, and it's still circulating. So hats off to Gustav and Dries. Going to the closing stages for the two of them. Giel and Ben Janssen now. Giel Nel. Looks like Giel's had a great day. He's the man who's kicked it off for us earlier on in the show. He was the first man on track. And making his way now to the finish line. Shouldn't be too much of an issue there. And I think there's a good possibility of a win in the special class P. Not really anybody who's troubled him at all. Closest to them was Steyn and Smith, but I don't think they're going to be anywhere near them by the time the checkered flag comes out. They've opened up almost a lap over the rest of Class P. Checkered flag comes out there, and the medal's handed immediately to the driver and navigator after a great day in the saddle. It's nice to see that. So Duval is going to take the win there. Peter Reinecker is going to come through G22. The De Beers is going to come through for third place in Class G. I'll be happy with that. Here's our lead car in the specials, Giel Nel and Ben Janssen. And there we go. The Renault has made it to the finish line. Billy Wellman and Cornelius Niemand. A little bit of sideways and crowd spectacle for the final run to the line. And it's great to see that after a good day's racing on 2 wheels, 4-wheel, quads and side-by-sides and special vehicles, it's been a fantastic event here in Lichtenburg. Hats off to the organisers for putting on a great show, and well done to Flip and his team for putting a fantastic little event together and a nice track for these guys and girls to go and play in. Don't be scared, you can give him a kiss on TV, it's fine. He's full of mud, it's a great time to kiss him. There we go, final cars and side-by-sides coming in now, and eventually coming to the closing stages here of what has been a really good effort from everybody around, and nice to see the local support for an event like this as well. There you can see coming to the line, well that's F4, so they have been able to get going again, but I think Rikus and Nolene might just be time barred. We'll wait and see on the official results now as they come up. Lichtenburg 200 Class B in the specials, Valdo and Peter Prince winning out over John Boxhoorn. Tian Prinsloo and Dylan de Kock coming through the top 3. It's Jacobs and Van Tonda, Grief and Muns beating out the Walkers. Class P, it was Giel Nel and Ben Janssen winning out over Steyn and Smit, De Villiers and Kruger and JP van Rooyen. And then in Class C, it was Andre Vermeulen and Johan Free taking the victory. Even though they were DNF'd, they still take the win in Class C. Class D production cars goes to Gideon Nel and Rudy Haps, beating out Nikos and Peter Pretorius, and Gustav Aspeling and Dries van der Berg coming through for Class E. A good run in Class T for Hatzok and Nicole Prinsloo. They win out the Class Ts, and Willy Velman and Cornelius Niemand beating out the rest of the pack who had DNFs, Prinsloo and Brits, and Van Rensburg and Fenter. Class G, it was Duval and Marie taking the win over the Reineckers. Then it was De Villiers and Kruger, and then the De Beers beating out the Dardas and Bachfischer and the ladies at the back. A good effort from them down in 6th place. Well done to Flip Velman and his team, and thanks to Rousseau Fuel Station, our associate sponsors, for all this action from the Lichtenburg 200, part and parcel of Africa Racing.